Hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've all had a lovely Easter and you're all keeping safe and well as best you can in the circumstances. Obviously if things are difficult for you at the moment then you have my sympathies and my heart goes out to you and I hope you're able to get the support you need at the moment. My mother and I are doing fine thankfully and I've been able to get back into a routine of sorts. Now I'm back at work, which is good. I mean, I'm used to home working anyway and keeping myself amused at home, so it's not been too unusual. It's just been different not being able to go out so much, but as I say, I'm used to kind of looking after myself at home anyway, so it's kind of a normality, just a strange sort of normality really. So in these videos I just want to do a very quick kind of rapid fire recap of the things I've been enjoying, and maybe there'll be something in here that interests you. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on with it and I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing I mention is what I've been posting on the blog and my Instagram this week, which is kind of looking back at old memories really, because I haven't been able to go out so much obviously, so I thought it was worth looking back at some of my old stuff that I haven't really posted about before. So I posted a diary from a school trip to Wales when we went to Snowdonia back in 1998 when I was 14. Fortunately, the staff kind of kept a journal for us, which I kept and scanned in, so I've been able to reproduce that in the blog with some photos I took and links to the places we visited. So go and check that out because it was a lovely trip that was. And I've been posting photos on my Instagram, which are duplicated on Facebook as well, from Snowdonia and France and London and one or two other places. So do keep an eye on that because I'll be adding a few more photos over the coming days. And then I've got another series of posts I'm working on for the blog as well at the moment, which is kind of looking back at the past, but not my past. It's kind of celebrating an anniversary, but I'm not going to go into that at the moment until I've got a few of those posts done and got them up. So yeah, there's various things to check out on my blog, so don't forget to subscribe to that as well as this channel. In terms of games, last week I mentioned I'd signed up for the free trial of Apple Arcade, which I've continued to play around with. So the most notable game I've played this week is What the Golf, which is basically a very crazy golf type of game, but not in the way you might know it, because it's not just about hitting a ball into a hole around a strange curvy course and dodging obstacles, but you're hitting strange objects as well, like sofas and houses and things all around the place. You're having to knock over cats and trees and score goals, and there's all sorts of weird and wonderful things you have to do throughout each level. So it's really creative and inventive. It's something very, very different. I did have to give up kind of part way through because it just got a bit too visually demanding. Some of the things are quite small and you have to kind of do things very, very quickly. It just got a bit too much, but I did complete quite a few of the levels, so it was good fun. And if you've got the sight to really do it and react to it properly, then it's a really good game to do. And I did get a fair way through it, so I was happy with as much as I did complete. I am currently playing through another game, but as I haven't finished it yet, I'll mention that next time. But yeah, I'm enjoying that as well. So there seems to be a good variety of games on Apple Arcade, but obviously I'm only just scratching the surface with what's there. So yeah, I'll report back on that more next time. And then in terms of TV, there's been various things I've been watching. I won't repeat the things I mentioned last week, but in terms of new things I've been watching this week, the big thing has been Red Dwarf, of course, because that came back for a feature-length special called The Promised Land. And this kind of looks at what happens to the cats that evolved from Lister's cat. Because we've never really seen that before, apart from obviously the cat character that's on the ship. So this looks at the kind of wider race of cats. And it was really fun. It's been great to see the boys back from the dwarf again, and it was really funny as per usual. And Holly's back too, which is fantastic. So I really enjoyed that. And I also watched the extras on UK TV Play as well. They had a documentary on there and deleted scenes and smeg ups, so they're worth looking up. And also, if you look for Paul Farrer's channel on YouTube, which I'll link to in the description, he's the composer who did the music this time around. Not Howard Goodall, sadly, but Paul Farrer's music is also very good. He's done the theme music for shows like The Chase and various other things, so he's very notable as well in the TV world. So he's posted some of the songs from the soundtrack on there, so that's been good. So yeah, I'm glad Red Dwarf's back, and Doug Naylor did say in the documentary that he's keen to do more specials, and I know the cast are still very much enjoying their time together, so hopefully we'll see more Red Dwarf, either another series or specials or whatever they want to do. Have I Got News For You is also back at the moment. I know it came back kind of last week, but I always wait for the extended edition on a Monday. Have I Got a Bit More News For You? So that was the first time I saw it this week, and it was very weird, obviously, with them all being at home and coming together on webcams in a virtual studio. So it didn't work quite as well, but it was still funny, it was still good. We need that kind of humour at this time, so I'm very glad they're back. That was timed very nicely. And then Russell Howard is doing a new show called Russell Howard's Home Time, which is basically a home version of Good News and the Russell Howard Hour, where he reacts to events in the news, finds funny videos and talks to guests and things like that. So in the first episode he had Greg Davis and James Bay, for example. Not all the guests will interest me, like James Bay didn't on the first episode, so I won't watch every episode in its entirety, but I will certainly keep an eye on them to see who he's got on there and to see what his reactions are to certain things. So yeah, it's great that Russell Howard's doing that and that he's giving his fee away to good causes as well. That's very nice of him, very generous. And then also online this week, I rewatched an old show. I watched the Tonight special called Major Fraud, which was about the Charles Ingram coughing scandal on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I know coughing is rather topical at the moment and not for good reasons, but in this case, it's kind of amusing, really. It's really kind of strange to see how stupid they were at doing it. You know, he really did get greedy and just completely exposed the whole scam. And it's just hilarious in a strange way, really, that, you know, if you're going to do a scam like that, you don't put the dimmest person in the hot seat. It's really interesting. I'm not going to link to it because they keep removing it and it keeps getting re-uploaded by other people. But the reason I watched it was because there's a drama about that on ITV next week, a 3-part drama, which I'm looking forward to. So it's a good excuse to re-watch that old documentary because it's quite fascinating, really. And then in terms of online videos, in addition to those I mentioned last week, there are various others I'll quickly recommend this week, just as a quick-fire list. So there's a video by a YouTuber called Benno, which is looking at how empty the London Underground has been lately. It's really kind of weird to see how empty the stations are, and some of the streets as well that he's included. It's a very extensive video. It is kind of quite eerie if you're a Londoner like me to just see how deserted the Underground is. It's very, very strange. Jay Foreman has released the next video in his Unfinished London series, which is a series of educational but very funny and very cleverly edited videos all about the city. This time it's about why London has 32 boroughs, but all the videos are interesting, and yeah, he puts a lot of effort into them and it's really worth it. So I do encourage you to check out Jay Foreman's channel if you haven't seen it. He's also got a series on there called Map Men and various other bits and pieces. He's very, very funny, very, very good. The London Transport Museum are doing a series called Hidden London Hangouts, because they normally do Hidden London tours where you get to see places that you wouldn't normally get to have a look around, like disused underground stations and things like that. So as they can't go out to do these things, they're talking about them instead in special kind of video podcasts, as it were. So they're talking about Aldwych in the first one, for example. So they're interesting to take a look at if that's the kind of thing you're into. And then on the subject of sight loss, a quick shout out to my friend Fern Lulham, who is a very accomplished motivational speaker who has aniridia like me. I first met her at an aniridia network conference. She's very, very good at what she does, so much so that she was invited to give a talk at a TEDx event in Kingston upon Thames this year. So that video has now just been published and it's very, very good. It's all about her experiences with online dating and what she learnt from that about self-acceptance. So do give that a watch. She was very, very good at that. And then later this month, we've got Audio Description Awareness Day coming up, which is a good opportunity to show somebody else the benefits of audio description and how it works in case they're not familiar with it. So my friend Juan Alcazar has explained it in his video over at JC5 Productions. Go and check that out. He explains what the day is all about, who set it up, how you can get involved and so on. And then the RNIB are also doing an urgent appeal to try and raise funds to help support blind and partially sighted people during the current crisis. So do go and check out their video as well, and there's details there on how you can donate. I know there's various charities you can donate to as well, including NHS charities who are also very deserving. But if you can chip in a little bit to the RNIB as well, that would be certainly very much appreciated. And then in terms of more humorous things, apart from the Jay Foreman videos earlier that I recommended already, Andrew Cotter, who is a sports commentator, has been left rather bereft by the fact that he can't do commentaries on sport at the moment. So instead, he's kind of commentating on what his dogs are doing instead, which is very amusing. He's only got a couple of videos up at the moment, but hopefully he'll do more because they've had such a good reaction on social media. But do go and check them out. I'll link to his channel in the description. They're really good. There's also an actress called Mandy Dasser who has done a choose your own adventure kind of sketch show on her YouTube channel as well, so you can kind of interact and choose what she does at the end of each little clip. So that's quite clever. I know 1 or 2 people have done that in the past, but obviously this being lockdown, she's done a specially themed one for this. So do go and check that out if you want to do something a bit different, a bit fun, a bit silly. And then I've also been going on a bit of a nostalgia trip over the past few months, really, not just the past week, thanks to Andy Pearman's channel on YouTube. I just haven't bothered mentioning it in my favourites before because it's not been so relevant. But now if you want something to keep you entertained, this is ideal, because he's been uploading full episodes, among other things from the archive, of Noel's House Party, which is brilliant because it was a classic show when I was a kid. It was the cream of Saturday night television in its heyday until it started to go downhill later on. And yeah, it's just great to see, you know, all the gungings and the gotchas and the NTVs and other surprises and games that he did. And not only has he got full episodes on there, but he's also been unearthing the full studio recordings. He's obviously got a job where he's got sufficient access to this kind of stuff, which means you can see what happened after the show went off air. And there's some really interesting things in there. So it's well worth digging into that if you enjoyed the show many years ago. He's also got episodes of Telly Addicts and other bits and pieces as well. So his whole channel is worth digging through, to be honest. I'll also give another mention to Tim Vine Televisual in case people haven't seen that in a previous favourites video before. Basically, Tim Vine every Monday is uploading a short clip, just 2 or 3 minutes long at most, just with silly little sketches and things. It's typical Tim Vine humour. They're very funny. So yeah, every Monday, look out for a new clip from Tim Vine. They're always good. And then David Jason has also posted a video as well, offering moral support to people and giving some tips on social distancing involving imagining triggers broom. So do go and watch that message. I'll link to that in the description below as well, of course. There are also inevitably many parody songs out there about the virus and isolating at home and things like that, some of which are actually very good, very creative. So I've linked to some of my favourites in a playlist, which you can go and see. So I'll put that in the description as well. See which one's your favourites, see which ones you like. And then finally, there's a lovely video out there from 70 stars of West End Theatre who have performed Do You Hear the People Sing from Les Mis, all from their homes on webcam, of course, but it all comes together very nicely for a very powerful performance. So it's worth looking that up as well. And that's it. That's everything that's been keeping me entertained and occupied over the past week. I hope you found that interesting and enjoyable, and maybe there are one or two things in there that you want to check out as well. If there's anything you think I should take a look at, be it TV shows, films, games, music, or whatever it is that you've been enjoying, then do let me know. I'm open to suggestion. I don't know when my next video will be. It could be next week. It could be a fortnight away. It just depends on what I have to talk about. So we'll see how things go. But in the meantime, I hope you all stay safe and well. You know, we are going to get through this together. You're not alone in this. So if you need any support, I hope you're able to get it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as per usual. Stay safe, and I will see you for another video very soon. Bye.